This is 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, episode 122, Door Guardians that Protect and Empower Your Front Door. Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life. Hello, my Feng Shui friend. I am here today, and it is a beautiful spring day, and I'm so glad to see the sun shining, and like the true March, it is blowing in like a lion. I don't know if it's going to go out like a lamb. Sometimes it comes in like a lion and goes out like a lion. Here where I live, the trees are kind of smart. They keep all of their leaves until the springtime comes, and then they drop them. So right now, we're awash in leaves. Just as all the new green shoots are peeking out and leaves are starting to come out on the trees, those that have lost their leaves back in the fall when you feel like being outside and raking leaves. But it's just nice to see that change and that new growth that comes with the spring. We also have a new moon coming up on Saturday, and it's a new moon in Pisces, and it's really asking us to have unstructured time. And especially now with the change of seasons, it's nice to have time that is your own, that you can do as you wish. That's such a luxury to me, is to have time that's simply time that I don't have anything planned, I don't have to go anywhere, and I've been trying to build that into my schedule this year. What I find is that we're so overscheduled and so on demand at all times, just like water coming out of a tap. We're always, on the go and ready to do the next thing and start the next project and go from here to there. That it's nice to have just a little bit of time, a block of time. And if you can do this, whether it's a day, once a week, however you can find that time to shoehorn it in, and do shoehorn it in. Find some time for yourself that's just unstructured, that you can do whatever you want to do, and that you can follow your intuition if it guides you to go somewhere, maybe to the local park or just to go take a walk around the block. Whatever it does that will make you feel like you have listened to yourself and you've honored yourself, and that time is something that's an ally to you and not something that you're always under the gaze of. And I find that to be very refreshing for me. So if you can, here as the Pisces new moon comes in on Saturday, March 13th, be thinking about how you can build in some time that's unstructured and that you can just enjoy in any way that you like, whether that's raking leaves or planting a garden or just taking a nap. I think that you deserve that for sure. Well, today we are talking about guardians for your front door. Now, this is something that is not commonly seen in most Western homes. We don't often see traditional Chinese guardians, which are often the food dogs, or in China, what I remember in Shanghai, there were many qilins that were outside of, and in fact, mostly qilins. We typically see, when we see door guardians here in America, they're typically food dogs. Often if you go to a Chinese restaurant, or you'll see the doors are flanked by food dogs many times, not always. And they're a pair, and they represent yin and yang. They represent both of those energies. And it's something that you frequently find, like I said, at Asian restaurants. But one of the places I see almost every time I go there is Las Vegas. And casinos cater to many wealthy Asian gambling patrons who come, and they're very much oriented toward luck. And having these food dogs is very common. Go to the Wynn, go to the Bellagio, go to almost any major casino, and you will see a pair of food dogs in front of it. Now, just if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. Especially like at the Bellagio, everybody's seen. It's such a tourist destination, and talk about great feng shui. That is a hotel that is, I think, a really good example of how you can use Asian art and influence, but without feeling Asian. It's absolutely possible, because, I mean, the Bellagio is all about that sort of Italianate design and style, because I know a lot of people say, oh no, I can't I can't have food dogs outside of my house or in my house because it's gonna, it doesn't go with the style of decor that I have. It's too Asian. But I want to remind you that actually in almost every type of setting and every type of design, a bit of Asian style and Asian design or Asian accents is perfectly traditional. Works beautifully in whether you have a French type design, or maybe you have a traditional or contemporary. It really works in almost in every design. And so I want to encourage you, just think about the Wynn. It's not an Asian themed hotel, but the design, when you're walking into the entrance, there those two beautiful food dogs are. Well, let's talk about your entrance, because this is what we're most concerned about, right? Is how energy comes into your home. Now, the front door, we know from feng shui, is the single most important area of your home. It determines the quality of the energy that enters your home. And that is what directly influences the quality of energy in important life areas like wealth, opportunity, health, and relationship success. So the entrance to your home is directly influenced by the way it looks. Now, realtors know this is called curb appeal. When a house looks great and is appealing, it's inviting to potential buyers. But you can look at it another way. When a house has got a great front door and wonderful curb appeal, it's also extremely inviting to qi. And it helps build and lift the qi in your home. Now, one of the ways that the Chinese have used feng shui to influence their home's energy, and by default, their feng shui is creating attractive and strong entrances, and this includes having a pair of door guardians to protect and enhance their front doors. And as I mentioned earlier, you can see these guardians in many locations, from temples to hotels, homes, and casinos. Now, the Chinese often use door guardians like food dogs or qilins, like we talked about. Food dogs are probably the most common ones and that we see here in the West. Food dogs, even though they're called dogs, actually mean lion and are sometimes spelled Foo instead of Fu. So it's just a difference between Cantonese and Mandarin Chinese. Qilins are often used more interchangeably in the East with food dogs. The qilin is also called a dragon horse or a Chinese unicorn because they have like a curl on the top of their head, and it's a type of horn, but instead of sticking out like a unicorn does, this kind of looks like somebody slicked it back and put a curl on it. Anyway, it's pretty cute though. Statues of these guardians have traditionally stood in front of Chinese palaces, tombs, temples, and homes of the wealthy, and they've been believed to provide powerful protective and empowering benefits. Sometimes they're called temple lions. Now, you often see them in pairs in front of buildings, and sometimes their motif is used in other ways, like on door knockers to provide protection. But no matter whether you prefer food dogs or you prefer qilins, food dogs and qilins offer important protective energy. Protectors placed at your door not only protect it, but they also empower it and all who live there. So let's talk about why protect your door. Well, obviously we know about people breaking into it and that kind of thing, but there's something about having these guardians there that says, I'm paying attention. This door is watched. It sends out a signal. If you look at a door, a regular door, and then you look at a door that's flanked by either qilins or food dogs or sometimes even a plant. Just having that flanking kind of attention says we're on guard here. We're paying attention, and this house is got its game on. It does have a different look to it. It says that people are alert and aware. And to me, that's one of the big signals. It's not even so much about the design of the food dog or the design of the qilin. It's the idea that your door is flanked. So I look at it kind of like as an energetic signal that is sent out that protects your home from people with bad intentions. Because unfortunately, we live in a time. We've got porch pirates, right, taking our Amazon boxes and that kind of thing. And you can have people, your neighbors, that are maybe don't look upon your house as favorably as you might like. But the other thing that you want to do is to have door guardians, because annual energies can afflict your home. So for instance, every year we know that feng shui changes and the energies shift. We're in the year of the ox this year. And that makes protecting your front door even more important, because when a negative energy like the 3 killings or the 5 yellow or the red 7 hits your front door, having these guardians will help protect you from these energies as well. That's what I really like about it. Now, remember, when you want to put a door guardian on your door, you want to balance the size of the guardians with the size of your home and your door. Door guardians should always be placed facing out. Now, if you choose to have food dogs at your home or office, make sure you place them properly. So, for instance, food dogs are typically sold in pairs, a male and a female. The male has a paw on a round ball, and he should be placed on the left as you look out from the house. And the female will often have her paw on a small cub underneath her paw. And this should be placed on the right as you look out from the house. Now, let's talk about indoor and outdoor guardians, because for me, for instance, I have 2 guardians at my front door. I have 2 large pots with 2 plants that says, paying attention. Door is important. Chi, come here. So I don't have big food dogs out in front of my home, because I just don't. The scale and size and scope, it's hard to find those particular pieces that are correctly sized and appropriate for my home. However, when you come in, I have a foyer, and there's a table, a console table opposite the front door, and there's a big, beautiful orchid arrangement, and on either side are 2 large, beautiful food dogs. These are beautiful resin, sort of rosewood style food dogs, and they would just crack and fall apart outside if I were to place them. The other thing is, you don't want to place them on the ground. If you ever notice, food dogs are always placed on a plinth. That means like a square riser, so that they are up off the ground, right? Symbolically, that's the idea. So if you have a pair of food dogs and you want them to protect your front door, have them face your front door, have them look at your front door, and bring them up onto a table so that they can be ready to go to work there. And then if you have it outside, if you decide that you want to have food dogs, I find it to be a little impractical to have food dogs on the outside of a home in most Western homes, just because sometimes they just don't lend themselves to the home style or looking right, or having a place that's really appropriate to place the right size. But if you can always use some type of other element or object. Even like I said, at my house, I have 2 large planters, and they are flanking the door. It's saying important, paying attention, and then when you come into the foyer of my house, the 2 food dogs are right there looking at the FedEx man. Every time I open the door. So that's really all you need to do. But what's so important is that I do feel like there's always something symbolically watching my front door. And that symbolism is powerful for protecting you from whether it's negative intentions of others, somebody wanting to break into your house, or it could be from the annual energies or monthly energies that come and hit your front door. So when you have these guardians, you can look at your house as being both empowered and protective. All right, well, I'm going to leave you with our 3 tips. Tip number 1 is outside, be sure to flank your door, whether that's with food dogs or chi-lins. If you can find them, then they're sized appropriately, and you can place them in a way that looks good to the eye, because it's really important. You don't want to just place these things out there and people are like, what's that on the ground? It needs to look right, because if it doesn't look right, then it's going to look wrong. And so make sure from design standpoint it always looks good. And if you can't do that, don't worry. Just maybe add plants instead, 2 plants if you can do that, or some type of design feature just to flank your door. It's a protective thing. Tip number 2 is to place your guardians inside the front door, facing the front door. So for instance, if you've got a beautiful pair of food dogs, but they would be ruined in the elements, well, you don't have to leave them outside. Put them indoors and have them face the front door and be your protector there. And they're also a beautiful style accent in my mind. Now, tip number 3 is keep your foyer, keep your front door well lighted. That's another way of protecting and empowering your front door that says, beautiful Chi, come here, come to my house. Well, I hope today has been fun for you and you've enjoyed listening about how to protect and empower your front door by using guardians on either side and in your foyer. Well, thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoy this, and I will talk to you on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui. Thanks for listening today to 5 Minute Feng Shui. Are you ready for the Year of the Rat to be over? Who isn't? The good news is that the Year of the Ox is coming and there's a bright light on the horizon. We are saying bye-bye to the 7-star that brought the pandemic and saying hello to the beautiful and sparkling 6-star that will shower us all with opportunity, windfalls, helpful people, and lift our sights this year. I'll share with you where you can find money, love, and opportunity in 2021, including in-depth feng shui details about how to use this energy of the year to maximize your success and prosperity and to protect you and your family. My Year of the Ox feng shui forecast includes details for every house and every zodiac sign. You'll also get the year's lucky clothing, handbag, and wallet colors. Be sure to subscribe to the Red Lotus letter for details about the Year of the Ox that's coming soon. Sign up at redlotusletter.com for all the details.